Welcome to the Bayou Bingo Fantasy Network, where you'll find everything fantasy football. From rankings, sleepers, breakouts, and everything in between, we've got you covered.
Ready? And here we go!
Every episode is one step closer to you winning a championship. If your goal is to win, you're in the right place. Here's your host, Troy Lofton, right here on the Bayou Bingo Fantasy Network.
Welcome to the NFL. Let's go! Let's go! Go!
Welcome into another video. It's week 7. We're talking about Draftkings. We're going over every position for Draftkings in week 7. Going to try to give you guys some really good picks, maybe some sleepers that you guys can look at overall. So I hope that we can get you guys cashing some money, because that's what we are here to do. Let's head on over here to let's look at the board real quick. Let's check it out. So we got the top guys here. You know, you have your Mahomes at the quarterback position, your Allen, your Herbert, your Jackson, things like that. Fields, not going to play. Stay away from those Bears. Not going to do you any good. The first quarterback I really want to point out here, though, is Geno Smith. Taking on these Arizona Cardinals, who's given up the 28th most DK points to opposing quarterbacks. I like what he's been able to give you. If you check out his game log, you know, 15, 16, 26, he's able to get you some decent production. But now going against this Arizona secondary, I think that he is in a good position, and only at $6,000. I think it's a pretty good value for what you can get. This week, in my opinion, you don't have to go up here and get any of these guys. None of them have great matchups anyway, so if you want to kind of stay away from the top guys, and you know the Patrick Mahomes going against the Chargers, everybody's going to want to probably lean towards that. But if you're trying to win a tournament, you want to try to get a little different. So, you know, a lot of people are probably going to go after that Patrick Mahomes play. Stay away from that. Let's go over Geno Smith, and I think that would be a nice, good upside type of production play for you. Next guy I want to look at here is probably going to be Jordan Love, going against those Denver Broncos, giving up the 31st most points, DK points to opposing quarterbacks, and it's the Denver Broncos, y'all. Everybody smashes the Denver Broncos, even though Jordan Love is not going to be, per se, chunking the ball up for 300, 350 yards. I think that he has a really good productive game. I think it probably at least over 250 yards. He's got a nice plethora of wide receivers over there. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. He's got Luke Musgrave at the tight end position. I even like Jaden Reed, the rookie wide receiver. So he's got some weapons out there. Also good matchups for Aaron Jones and such too. So the whole offense in general for Green Bay, I think it's in a good position against Denver. And I think if you get him into your lineup, you can save a lot of cash, especially if you're going down from Geno Smith. Save a couple more $100, go down to Love. And they got a couple more guys that I want to talk about here as well. Deshaun Watson going against the Colts defense, ranked 26th among DK points to opposing quarterbacks, but I think Watson's going to play. Right here it says offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt confirmed that Watson is slated to participate in practice at some capacity. So there is a chance that he could get on the field. And if he does, I think he's going to be pretty good. 21, 14, 21, gave you some decent production. And if he's there against the Colts, I think it's going to be a good game. This could be probably my quarterback for the week at 5,700. Could save quite a bit of money right here if you want to go that route. But could be still if you want to team up with somebody like Amari Cooper or something like that. The next guy on my list here, let's go ahead and go down a little bit. And I like here a little bit of Joshua Dobbs. You know, as far as an NFL quarterback, not crazy about this guy. But if you're looking at fantasy and just want to get somebody the value he can get you up, he's had a 23 game, he's had a 25 game. So he's had some games to give you some good production. He's had some low games as well, but I think he's starting to kind of figure it out a little bit. I think if you're looking for a cheap type of player at 5,300, Joshua Dobbs could be your player. Just going against that Seattle defense, ranked 22nd amongst fantasy points for opposing quarterbacks. I just like that play. I think it's a really good play for you. The last quarterback I do want to go over here would be Jimmy Garoppolo, taking on that Bears defense, getting up the 29th most DK points to opposing quarterbacks. Not sure if he's going to play or not, but it looks like he might play. He had a back injury. It wasn't a severe injury, right? They said it was very optimistic about it, what it is. And even if he doesn't play, I don't know. I don't think Brian Hoyer will play. I think it'll be O'Connell. But either way, it's O'Connell, Garoppolo, whatever. They still would be decent. And Jimmy Garoppolo, trust me, he's got Devontae Adams on the field. He's getting a little disgruntled, so you know they're going to throw the ball to Devontae Adams quite a bit. And he's got a productive type of games in him as well. 23 points there. So he at 5,200, he could be a quarterback that you do slot in and play for yourself. So those are the quarterbacks that I really like to see. Let's go ahead and move over here to the running back position. The first guy I want to talk about here is Josh Jacobs, taking on that Chicago Bears defense, who ranks 28th as far as DK points given up to opposing running backs. I like with Josh Jacobs. He's getting the ball a lot of attempts. Look at this, 25 attempts, 20, 17, 17, doing really well, and still getting up close to that 20 points a game, and going against this Bears defense where they're not going to have Justin Fields. They're going to be in a positive game script the whole time against these Bears. I think Josh Jacobs is an absolute smash play. So if you want to spend up high, I think Josh Jacobs is a really good play for you. Let's move it right down here. Kyron Williams, just to let you guys know, Kyron Williams is ruled out. He said, McVay said he will not play. So just to let you know, it might be a tough sledding for the running game, maybe good on the passing game as well, maybe with Matthew Stafford. But I wanted to point out Kyron Williams is out for this week. Just throw the guys just a little mental reminder there. But the guy I want to go over here is Ken Walker Jr., taking on that Arizona Cardinals defense again. Like I love the Seattle players this week. I think it's going to be great. But look at the carries, 19, 17, 18, 17, doing really good and productive with it. 17, 13, 30, 18. Somebody at 7K can do some really good damage against the defense, give up the 30th most DK points to opposing running backs. I love Ken Walker this week. Get this guy in your lineup. I think you'll be happy that you did. Next guy I want to talk about here is Aaron Jones, going against that Denver Broncos defense, ranked 32nd. Obviously, they give up everything to everybody. You said he was a limited participant in practice. I think he does play this week, but again, look at the injury report as of the recording of this video. He hasn't been ruled in nor out, so just make sure you're on the lookout for that. But anybody who goes against the Broncos, that's fantasy points right there. So he hasn't played a full game since week 1. And that's what he scored, 26 points. So if he's going against that Broncos defense and he's a full go, he's somebody you might want to look at to put into your lineup. So next guy here, let's move right along here to James Cook, going against that New England defense, ranks 19th amongst points, DK points to opposing running backs. But they've been allowing a lot of rushing yards here lately. Somebody you might want to look at, especially at 6,400. Let's look at here. 14 attempts, 71 yards. Damian Harris probably is not going to be playing this week as well. Could up his usage just a little bit there. They could be signing Leonard Fournette. I know he's going in for a visit as well, but not too good outings the last couple, so his ownership will be down. But if we look at it, he's got a 22 right here, 13 and 14, so he's got capabilities of being some type of DK player for you. And at 6,400, if you need somebody on the cheaper end, I think he would be a nice play for you. But even a better play, in my opinion, here would be Isaiah Pacheco, going against that Chargers defense, getting up the 23rd most fantasy points, DK points to opposing running backs. I like what he's doing here. The dude runs on a mission. A lot of attempts here too. Let's look at that. 16 attempts, 20, 15, doing really well. 15, 13, 27, 15. He's having some really good games. Somebody you can get in your lineup at 6,100. Absolutely love this play. I think he's a stud this week. Moving right on along here, Brian Robinson Jr. taking on that Giants defense, ranked 26th among DK points for opposing running backs. I like what he's going to do this year. This week, I think he's going to be productive. I think he's going to get the most carries he's probably had all season. I look for him to get up there to the 18 to 19 carries in this game right here. I think he's going to be that productive this week against these Giants, and he's been doing pretty good. Here's a 13 to 13, a 28, and another 13. Just the 2 games he had bad was an 8 and a 7, where he had 6 and 10 attempts. But I think he's going to get well over 10 attempts in this game. I think the Washington Commanders are way better than the Giants here. And I think that Brian Robinson is going to be a big beneficiary of that. If you need somebody, again, for some cheap savings, 5,800, I like Brian Robinson Jr. Put him into your lineup as well. A guy that a lot of people aren't crazy about, Ramondre Stevenson here, going against that Buffalo defense, giving up the 25th most DK points to opposing running backs. Looking pretty decent to me. Now, look, he had 18 points last week, right? 10 attempts, 46 yards, and a touchdown. But check this out. He had 5 receptions on 6 targets. That's a lot of targets. That's what you want to see. Now, don't look at the 2, the 6, the 7. I don't really like that. Look early in the season, 15, 14. They went right back to him, 18. They're going to want to get him the football. And I like at 5,600, getting him against that Buffalo defense. I really like Ramondre Stevenson this week. Another guy that I like, where is he at? Here he is, Jaleel McLaughlin. I'm really starting to like this guy. I think he's going to eventually take over that #1 running back role for the Denver Broncos, because they're garbage. They're El Garbaggio, and they might as well give it to the young guys. So Going against that Green Bay defense, giving up the 29th most DK points to opposing running backs. I'm liking what he's doing. 10 carries here, 11 carries here, 12 carries here, 13 carries here. They're being consistent. Whether he's the starter or not, Javonte Williams was out. He was still busting it loose. You know, so he can get you closer to that 10-point range, even more if he's having a solid game. And at 5,400, I think he's good to take a stab on. Wait, that's Javonte. That's Javonte Williams. Where's Jaleel McLaughlin? Here he is. Same thing. Same irrelevant. So 7, 9, 7. He's doing mediocre, right around the 10 carries, same as Javonte Williams. I can't believe I was looking at Javonte Williams, but they're pretty similar to me. But I like Jaleel McLaughlin, what he can do. I think he's gonna take over Javonte Williams' job sooner rather than later. And again, 6, 17, 19, 1, 6. So if you want to play a Denver running back, I would play Jaleel McLaughlin at 5K. You got him at 5K. You got Javonte Williams at 5,400. Save yourself $400. Go to Jaleel McLaughlin and be happy that you did. Last but not least, the guy that I want to point out here he is, Devonta Foreman, going over the Raiders defense, giving up the 20th most DK points. With Justin Fields out, they're probably going to give the Devonta Foreman a lot of carries. So he had 15 attempts last time, looking for 15 to 20 attempts this time against that Las Vegas Raiders defense. I think he's going to have a nice game. If you want somebody at 4,800, little cheap flex play, I really like what he can give you. So looking for that. Let's go ahead and move over here to the wide receiver position. We're gonna start right here at the top. Cooper Kupp, the dude's been phenomenal. Now he gets the Pittsburgh's defense who can't stop anybody. 29th against most DK points to opposing wide receivers. Get this guy in your lineup, dude. He's a beast. I love what he's giving you. So right along the street, I'm gonna go Puka Nacua, his teammate. I think he's doing well as well, even with Kupp being in there. I mean, he still even put up a 20 burger there as well. So I mean, he's getting 11 targets, 7 targets, even with Cooper Kupp. The dude's a phenomenal wide receiver. He's somebody you can also put in your lineup. 7,600. That's probably the cheapest you've had him since week 4. So he was at 6,700 here. So get Puka Nacua on the savings here. He's the cheapest he's been in 3 weeks. So get the guy in your lineup. Another guy I want to talk about, I've talked about a lot of Seattle Seahawks here, is DK Metcalf. Here he is right here. DK Metcalf going against the Arizona Cardinals defense, who gave up the 26th most DK points to opposing wide receivers. I like what he's producing here. 10 targets last week. He's got a 10, a 12, a 20, a 13, a 13. Solid type of floor player that you can get. And at 6,800, I think he should be more valuable than that. But 6,800, like I said, this is the cheapest he's been all season. This is the cheapest he's been all season. So it matches what he was last week. Get the guy in your lineup. I think he's going to be a phenomenal play for you. Let's look at the next guy. It's going to be Amari Cooper. Here he is down here. Going against this Indianapolis Colts defense if Deshaun Watson plays. If Deshaun Watson does not play, I don't like Cooper as much. But when Deshaun Watson plays, I mean, he's getting targeted out the wazoo. 10, 7. He gets targeted by Deshaun Watson. Get this guy in your lineup. He's productive. He's a very good wide receiver. So get him into your lineup. Who's the next guy? Let's look at another guy here. Zay Flowers. Let's point him out here to taking on the Lions defense, giving up the 19th most DK points to opposing wide receivers. I like Zay Flowers, what he's giving you. 8 targets, 11 targets, and a 10 target here. 17, 12, 8, 13, 10. He's got a nice little floor for you. Even 17 in week 1. So even as a rookie, he's providing some good value for you. I like that Lamar Jackson's looking for this guy, and he's fast. He's speedy. He's a very good wide receiver. So he's somebody that you can put in your lineup at 5,700. I like what he can provide for you. So he's a good one. Right under him, I like Christian Watson. Again, going against that Denver Broncos defense. I like everybody who goes against Denver. So Christian Watson could be really good. Even if you want to go with Romeo Doubs or Jaden Reed, any of those Green Bay wide receivers would be pretty good, in my opinion. Somebody I do want to go over here would be Marquise Brown. Guys, check this out. He's Marquise Brown going to the Seattle defense, giving up the 32nd most DK points to opposing wide receivers. And a lot of people might be off of Brown this week, because check this out. Last week, 7.4. But I want to show you guys something. Starting at week 2, 17, 17, 16, 16. Look at the targets. 4 out of the last 5 games. 10 targets, 10 targets, 10 targets, 11 targets. The dude's getting phenomenal work. Somebody that you guys need to get into your lineup. A lot of people may be off of him because they see the 7 points right here. They're like, oh, I don't want to go to Brown. Go back to Brown. He might get you back up to the 16, 17 points. And at 5,300, I think he is a nice value play to get into your lineup. Next guy, let's talk about here. Drop it right down. Drake London taking on that Tampa defense, getting the 24th most DK points to opposing wide receivers. Let's look at him real quick. 12 targets last week. Really like what I saw. Finally kind of breaking through. Desmond Ridder's like, hey, light bulb, let me give it to my best player at the wide receiver position, and that's going to be Drake London, 24.5 points. I think he can follow that up against an in-division rival with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're going to want to give him the ball quite a bit, so get the guy in your lineup. Let's scan down here just a little bit more. Wan'Dale Robinson, he's somebody that I like going against that Commanders defense. 27th most DK points to opposing wide receivers. I don't like any of the plays on the Giants, but I do like Wan'Dale Robinson. He was a non-participant due to a knee injury, but I do think that he still ends up playing. The dude's pretty consistent, 14, 6, 9, 6. Somebody you can put in at 3,800, almost minimum salary, and you can get you somebody close to 10 points. Somebody's a free square, in my opinion. Put him in your flex. I think you'll be happy that you did. Last but not least, let's go over my last guy here. Where is he at? Michael Wilson. Here he is, going against that Seattle defense. Again, going 32nd most DK points to opposing wide receivers. Don't worry about this one game. That was kind of a fluke game, but the dude is actually showing out, doing really well. Get him in your lineup. Somebody, again, 3,800 minimum salary. You can put Wilson and Wan'Dale Robinson in your lineup and have pretty much studs at every other position. So get him into your lineup. Let's see what we got going on here. Look at the tight end position here. Let's go all the way at the top here. Mark Andrews, somebody I want to point out. Somebody really good going against that Lions. The Lions do not guard the tight end position very well. And we all know what Mark Andrews can give you. Solid gameplay. And he can bust it out for a 25 any given day. 5,700, I think, is pretty decent value for this kind of guy. Get him in your lineup. I like Mark Andrews. Don't need to really go over him much more. Another guy here, Pat Freiermuth, coming back from injury, taking on that Rams defense, giving up the 30th most DK points to opposing tight ends. I'm liking what Freiermuth can give us. You know, he hasn't been playing it well. He was kind of injured. You know, he had some solid targets, at least four targets per game. You know, he had a 13, hit a 7. Who knows what he gives you? The whole offense is coming back pretty much healthy. Even Deontay Johnson's going to be back. So I'm curious to see what happens if you need a cheap tight end, 3,900. I really like Pat Freiermuth this week. I think he can be a nice little stud for you. Jonnu Smith, somebody, again, they're going against that Tampa Bay defense. I like Jonnu Smith. He's getting you really productive type of targets, right? That's what you want to see, especially from a second string tight end. I mean, he's getting, look at it, he's almost double-digit points every game this year. So I like it. I like Jonnu Smith. If you need a tight end on the cheap, 3,600, rock out Jonnu Smith. I really like what he can give you. David Njoku going against that Colts defense. Again, if Deshaun Watson plays, I like David Njoku. Hasn't been extremely productive this year, but can get you those 10 points, right? He can get you the 10 points. He's getting the targets, 4, 7, 4, 4, 3. So he's getting you targets in the game. He's uber talented. Get him in your lineup if you want a cheap guy. Again, 3,400 for David Njoku. Really like him. I was really high on David Njoku coming into the season, and I'm still high on David Njoku. So next guy I want to go over, Luke Musgrave. Again, I recommend everybody who goes against this Denver defense. They're just absolutely putrid. They're dead last in the league against the opposing tight ends. Luke Musgrave, somebody you can definitely get a hold of. He can give you 10 points in a game. You know, 7 targets, 8 targets. He can get some targets. So you put this Green Bay offense into your lineup. I think you'll be happy if you did. Another guy here, let's talk about Cade Otton, way down here at 2,900, going against the Falcons defense, get up the 27th most DK points to opposing tight ends. Cade Otton, he's okay. You know, he gets you a couple targets a game, but if he has one of these, you know, little boom games, maybe 6 targets or so, he might be able to get you 10 to 15 fantasy points. So Cade Otton, somebody that's super cheap, 2,900. You can get him in your lineup if you really need somebody, you kind of punting on that position. And again, Michael Mayer, the Raiders defense, the Raiders tight end going against the Chicago defense, ranked 26th among DK points to opposing tight ends. I like Michael Mayer. I think he's coming along. 6 targets last week for 12.5 points. I like what I see out of Michael Mayer. So last but not least, let's go over these defenses and see what we have here. A lot of people are going over this Raiders defense because they want to play against Chicago since Fields is not playing. 3,800 for the Raiders defense. I would probably stay away from them. They're going to be very highly owned anyway, and you want to get different. So how do we get different? So go right below them, the Packers defense, taking on that Denver Broncos offense. I mean, that's the Denver Broncos, cockadoodle. I say it all the time. Get the defense going against Denver. I think you'll be happy that you did. Right under them, Buccaneers going against that Atlanta defense. Desmond Ridder is completely putrid. Some another defense that you can get. I think he'll be super solid. And the last pick I want, way down here, if you need a cheap defense, 3K, Giants defense going against that Washington Commanders defense. Sam Howell gives the ball away quite a bit. Giants defense could be a nice little sleeper pick for you. But those are all the picks that I have going on for DraftKings as of right now, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching the video. As always, I do appreciate every time you guys come in here. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. We're on our way over to 700 subscribers. We're grinding out here, right? We're doing really well. I can't wait to see what we have in store coming in week and week out. We're delivering, 3-4 videos each and every week to help prepare you on your Sundays, not only for DraftKings, but regular seasons as well. Guys, can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.